there's been a lot of buzz and a lot of discussion around different styles of programming: fluid, agile, flexible, dynamic. All of these different styles that really allow coaches to respond in the moment, or even leverage athletes, quote unquote, readiness as a way to determine what workout to do. And so I wanted to highlight some of the functionality here, as we've seen organizations, coaches, and trainers do it within Bridge via our playlist style functionality. Now, initially, the playlist functionality was designed so that an athlete never really missed a day. They just went to the next one. But with every technology and every resource, coaches became very resourceful and started to, we say, hack the system to make it fit their needs. And so this was presented on at the NSCA Coaches Conference in January of 2021. But to go through some of it here, we have 4 different styles that we'd like to show you. And so going into the NSCA Coaches Daily Program 1, what this does is this has a Monday, as you can see in the top left, a Tuesday when we swipe to the left, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then just a complete regeneration or recovery day. Now we go through this, we can see there's a theme. There's a theme for Monday. It's an upper body push focus, but then it has different focuses or intentions, if you will. Power and strength, repetition, and then muscular endurance. Now this is one way, if you used readiness or leverage readiness, you could have, completely ready, it's a power and strength day, a little reduced readiness strength, all the way down to maybe below optimal readiness. You could have a higher repetition, lighter day that would be named muscular endurance. Now naming is pretty important in these, which is why these are all a little strategic here, but obviously that would need to fit your terminology and organizations and preference. But nonetheless, you kind of get the idea that there are different options for the day based on readiness in this scenario. You can go in and you can select, aerobic power. Here's what the warm-up is. We've got a curved treadmill. We have all out with a 10 RPE, 4 sets of 30 seconds on. All right, that sounds pretty good. We'll go back and maybe, we actually wanted the anaerobic endurance. So now we're going to see a little bit reduced RPE of 9, a little bit of a reduced rest period, 6 sets, 30 seconds, all the way down to that, aerobic regenerative, where we're really just doing a easy, steady state activity to increase blood flow. Again, the programming is not the specific component of what this video is intending, but rather just to show you the functionality that's available to help support your process and your programming. Now, another one here is the NSCA Coaches 2021 Daily 2, and this has options for the exact same workout, but again, based on readiness. This could be based on a lot of variables, but in these scenarios, it's just based on readiness because that's what was spoken to. But for example, we have this total body here for extreme readiness. We can see the workout here, what it entails. I'm actually going to go into preview to get some more details. We'll swipe over, look at the block of movement prep. Now look at the block of plyometrics. I'll look at the block of strength primary. So we've got 230 flat loaded here for 5 sets, with the 6 sets being an open set or a required set where they could do as much weight as possible. Looks pretty good. Maybe they're not at the state that this would warrant. So instead of being extremely ready, let's go to just ready, what they should be for the day or what's expected for the day. Go into that preview, you'll see the same warm-up, same movement prep, the same plyometrics. We get into the strength, again, because it's a little bit reduced readiness compared to the extreme. Now we have a flat load of 205, so a lower percentage for 5 sets without that 6th open or required set. And that same theme carries on to, a reduced readiness. Maybe they're under recovered. Again, the same process. We'll go into that preview. Same warm-up, same movement prep, similar plyometrics. And then the strength primary here is now a lightened load and a reduced volume. As you can see, only 3 sets. And that goes through in this scenario where you have that entire workout, week 1, separated by that dashed line into week 2, dashed line into week 3, so on and so forth. So you have the entire program here, and you can kind of go back and forth between options based on individuals' readiness that day. Now, that speaks to leveraging the flexibility of the dynamic process of readiness, but you could also just have the program as outlined here and execute as intended, as the playlist functionality was initially intended, was just go in and do a workout here, do the next workout whenever it comes available, so that you never really miss a training day. You don't have to go back to a calendar, find it, or your athlete doesn't have to, your trainee doesn't have to. You don't have to go in as a coach and take the day and move it to the appropriate day. What happens is you just execute the session as your schedule allows. And so, kind of along similar lines there is, we'll go down to the bottom one, the buckets. And here we leverage kind of those categories that we had before, what I'll refer to as buckets. We have a regeneration bucket, we have a strength bucket, and in this instance we have a conditioning bucket. Now, for this day, you could go in and select, hey, everyone go to strength bucket workout 2, which is a foundational lower body pull, upper body push, rotational level 3 workout. Have a preview of that, and you could go into and begin executing. Or, you could have had that plan, but because, practice went long and harder than intended, or, the individual had a more stressful day than was intended, or at least planned out. Maybe we go to a conditioning day that's a little bit lower intensity, like the tread water, or maybe we even go into a completely regenerative protocol outlined here in the regeneration bucket. Again, a lot of flexibility in how to deliver the programming, but then because it's all stored within this database, you can go back and analyze it after the fact and see what trends are taking place, keep track of the volumes, the loads, the performances, and even, the trends in which workouts are being selected. And then one more, going to a little bit more of a flexible process, is being able to kind of create the workout as you go by having buckets of components of a single day. So here we have warm-up, we have speed and agility, power, strength, conditioning or ESD, and then regeneration. And you can go through here and really, as the title says, piecemeal a workout together by selecting a specific warm-up, then going in and selecting a specific speed and agility, or skipping it all together, skipping power altogether and going straight into a lift. So you can kind of piecemeal your workout together as the day goes on, either because that's your strategy, you're responding to someone or something, or you're just getting a feel for the group as you work through the workout and making adjustments that way. Again, all done via the app. That way it can be trackable and monitored after the fact. Now, understanding how this comes into play. So for example, the buckets here, regeneration and strength, when you go to actually build those out, what those really are within the system, again, because coaches have kind of, hacked our system or the functionality to meet their needs, is you go into the builder and we'll go into buckets here. And you can see what those buckets really are, is they're really just phases. We have the regeneration phase, the strength phase, and the conditioning phase. And within those phases, and I'll click into one here, are where the options exist. So in this example, the 3 big lifts, the foundational lower pull, upper push, and so on and so forth that we already kind of examined. And so you could have all your options for that bucket outlined here. And you can even have, you can have as many options as you'd like, or as few as you'd like. You could have one option, or you could have, for example, 4 days here as the system is outlined with 3 weeks, and now you have 12 different options for that, quote unquote, bucket. So these are just a few ways that you can leverage the playlist functionality within Bridge to support your more responsive or the flexible, fluid, dynamic style of programming that's gaining so much popularity amongst organization coaches and trainers at the moment.